Want to freeze a decorated cake? Watch this video to see how you can easily do this with a few simple steps. For stress-free cake tutorials and advice, be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I post new videos. So if you're like me and love to plan in advance, baking and decorating a cake a few days or even a week in advance can save you so much time. In order to keep it fresher longer, instead of placing it into the refrigerator where it can dry out, I recommend freezing it. Since it's already iced, the buttercream will help protect the cake and keep it from drying out. So you can freeze most cakes, but I would recommend double checking on the filling that you're using. Some fillings can't be frozen and thawed out and have that same consistency or taste. Also, if you have a cake that is painted or has any edible gold or silver leaf or any fragile sprinkles, I would recommend doing that at the very end or the day of, after it has thawed out from the freezer. So before you start, make sure that your freezer has enough space. Clear out a nice amount of room for your cake and make sure that nothing can fall or topple on top of your cake. Be aware of what kind of foods are in your freezer. If anything has a super strong odor and it isn't wrapped properly, this can affect the taste of your cake and it can absorb any of those strong odors. One more thing, your decorated cake should already be on a sturdy cardboard round to make it easier to transport in and out. So the first thing you want to do is just place your decorated cake straight into the freezer. Nothing around it, nothing on top. Depending on the size of your cake, this process could take anywhere from an hour to a couple of hours. What you're essentially doing is flash freezing the cake. So you want it to be very firm on the outside, and if you touch the cake, none of the frosting should get onto your finger. After it's completely hardened, you'll want to take it out of the freezer and then place saran wrap all around the cake and then put foil on top as well. So you can double wrap it with saran wrap if you'd like, but I usually just do one layer and it's fine. If you're gonna be keeping the cake in the freezer for over a month though, I would definitely recommend double wrapping and then foil. So to thaw your frozen cake, remember this one important rule. Never take your cake from your freezer directly to your countertop to come to room temperature. If you do this, your cake goes through condensation and it will cause it to sweat. And this creates those little tiny beads of water that are all around your cake, and this does not make a pretty scene. You want to slowly bring your cake back to room temperature. So what you want to do is take it from your freezer into your refrigerator. Depending on the size of your cake, it could take anywhere from a day to 2 days for your cake to completely thaw out. Take note of what filling you're using, and especially if you have fruit, this can take a little bit more time for it to thaw out. So I remember I made the mistake of not letting my cake thaw out enough, and my family ended up eating a cake that had super frozen berries on the inside still. So there you have it, a simple way to freeze a decorated cake. So let me know in the comments below if you have ever frozen a decorated cake and what your experience was like. If you like this video, click like, hit subscribe, and make sure to grab my free foolproof guide on Swiss meringue buttercream linked below.